Hey there guys, and welcome to another Ask Xterminator video. Thank you for joining me, and this series, what we do is you ask questions in the comments of these videos, and then the next week, the following week, I go back and read those comments and answer the questions you have. So if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, you're curious about, leave them in the comments of this video here, and I will answer them next week. It can be about anything as long as it's appropriate for me to answer on YouTube. Whether it be Factorio related, game related, unrelated to either one of those. Just anything you want to know, go ahead and ask me. So we're going to go over last week's. This shouldn't be quite as long of an episode as last time. There's quite a bit fewer questions and not necessarily as lengthy ones. So let's just hop right into it. Kevin Tan asks, if you're going to make your own game, what would it be? So hypothetically, if I were to make my own game, this would probably never happen because I have absolutely none of the skills to do that. But hypothetically, if I were, it would very likely be something in the RTS genre. I'm a huge fan of RTS games. I played RTS games quite a lot growing up. I played a ton, and I mean a ton, of Warcraft 3. I played some StarCraft 2. I played a massive amount of Rise of Nations, which is my all-time favorite RTS game. And as a kid, I actually kind of had a vision of an RTS game very much like Rise of Nations that I would like to create. Obviously, as a kid, I had no idea of limitations or whatever. Although nowadays, those limitations may not even be a limitation anymore. My vision would be an RTS that is extremely detailed and I'm trying to think how to say it, like extremely detailed and as realistic as possible. That may sound like not great. I don't know. I always had a vision, like if you've played like Rise of Nations or Age of Empires or Age of Mythology games like that, I always really liked how those played, but what I would have loved is for it to be more detailed. So like, for example, what I always envisioned is, you would have like your workers or whatever go chop down trees, and then they would like bring those to a lumber mill. Like you would actively see them, like they would actually bring like the logs or pieces of logs to a lumber mill, which would then turn that into usable wood. And then you would see, and then your workers like literally bring the pieces of wood, like realistically the amount needed to go and build a building, and instead of just seeing like random scaffolding and like the building just appear in like 5 seconds, you would actually see them like building it. Like they would actually build the building, and stuff like that. So it'd be a very long drawn out thing. Obviously it wouldn't be necessarily, like, it's not like it would take like 10 hours or something, but I just think a little more detailed, realistic like that. Maybe there's a game out there that I don't know about that does that, and that'd be awesome. Let me know. But that's kind of my vision if I ever were to make a game. I don't know. So moving on, we have a few more questions. It's a little bit hard having to dig through things that are questions, and things that are just stuff people had to say about my thoughts last time. So next question, I think, is from Real Time Eater. And they say, hey, Exterminator, really appreciate all your videos and your drive to help the community. Well, thank you very much. I am glad you appreciate it. I love doing it. It's a pleasure. And their question is, I was wondering if you would ever consider getting into Factorio speedrunning. It would be really fun and interesting to see you go through that journey and experiment with different ways to approach the game, even if it's just for a couple of runs. I have considered it. I've had people request it and suggest it, and I'm not 100% opposed to it, but I'm a very... I get frustrated pretty easily with games, so, like, and I don't know, for some reason, just the idea of speedrunning, just the idea of it, just imagining myself attempting to do it, is really overwhelming and confusing. Like watching the speedrunners do it, like anti-elites and Nephrons and Rain and stuff, I'm like blown away. Like I look at this, I'm like, I don't understand. I can never build, like I can't build builds like this. I can't build this quickly. I can't do that. And it just like goes way over my head, honestly, almost like the circuit network. I've tried it actually a long time ago. I did a stream or two on speedrunning. I did quite a few mini speedruns of like the Steel Axe speedrun, and then I try to do a legitimate one, and it was like extremely stressful for me. It was really really stressful trying to do it. Like I was just like going. I was super stressed by the end of it. So I'm not 100% opposed to it. I think it would just require a lot of planning. It's not something you can just hop into, right? It's not like, you really need to plan for it and practice to even get to a somewhat reasonable level. So, um, that's kind of my thoughts. I'm not 100% opposed to it. I think maybe it would be interesting. It's good to know that maybe some of the viewers would think it's interesting. It seems really overwhelming to me, to be honest. The next question comes from Fred G. What is the thing that you think has most improved since the first versions of Factorio? This is a great question, and also a really hard one. I'm not sure I can actually give a solid one answer to this, because the game as a whole has just improved so much. So just picking a thing, like the thing, I think has improved the most. I am gonna say, excuse me, I'm gonna say, and this may seem weird. Honestly, I am gonna say the graphics, uh, or the quality of life. I'm gonna. It's a really toss up between those two. It's either the graphics or the general quality of life features of the game. Those are the two things I would have to pick, either both or one of the two, because Factorio graphics aren't like mind blowing as it is. They're very cool, and they fit perfectly for the game, and they're really well done for the graphical style they are. Obviously, it's not like looking at like some like city skylines or something. It is just a very different style of graphical game, But if you look at old versions of Factorio, like really old versions, 0.1, 0. Even when I started, even if you look at like 0.7, 0.8, and compare it to now, there's a pretty stark difference. Now, some things actually surprisingly have not changed much at all, but like the iron plate and even assemblers for haven't changed that much. But some stuff was super rough back then. Like a lot of stuff was really rough graphically, and it's just so much more polished and clean now. The quality of life features, though, I would actually say, if I had to pick one, that's what it would be. The quality of life features, because the devs recently, especially over the last year or two, have added so many quality of life features that just did not exist. It's just made the game so much less clunky, so much smoother and easier to play. I think that's the one thing that's improved the most, is the quality of life features in the game. Let's go ahead and find um, another question. This seems... Okay, here we go. Creative user says, what's your favorite item or tech in Factorio? It's an interesting question. I would say favorite item or tech. Well, now it's gonna have to be Spidertron. I love Spidertron. It's I've been like messing with it more and more. Like last stream, I just was like spending like an hour in it, going and shooting stuff. Quick tip, by the way, if you're driving Spidertron yourself, someone actually suggested this in my stream, and I hadn't tried it yet. Using the C key to specifically manually target individual things rather than holding space or letting the Spidertron do it. One, I personally find it really fun, and two, it's insanely more rocket efficient. Like, it blew my mind how many less rockets I was using by using the C key and just specifically targeting the bases and worms rather than just letting the Spidertron or spacebar let loose and just spin like hundreds of rockets. It was ridiculous. I would say the Spidertron before the Spidertron, because I feel like that's just a pretty obvious one. That's going to be kind of tough. Man, that's a really tough one if I'm being honest. I don't know. For some reason, I really like electric furnaces. Like if I had to pick a favorite item before Spidertron, I feel like electric furnaces maybe. I don't know. I just really like them. I like them graphically. They're just, I don't know. They're just nice and square and just taut and just nice. Like, I don't know. They just appeal to me. They just look really nice. And, they don't need coal. That's a huge appeal. In terms of my favorite tech, probably beacons. If I had to choose an item and a tech, favorite item maybe beacons as well. Actually, beacons are fantastic. So that's kind of my answer. Tyler Ruitz says, "Would you want flyers and or digging bugs in the game?" Uh, yes, depending how they were added, and I don't think I would want both. I think that would just be too much. I would want one or the other. I would only want them. I would only want flyers or diggers if there was a reasonable way to counter them. Like if we just only if they added those and didn't give us some new way to defend against them, if we were just left with the current military options we had now, I would absolutely not want them because that would just be a nightmare. I mean, obviously turrets could like shoot flying biters. Digging biters would just be absolutely awful. Like that, it would just be so annoying. Um, so I don't know. I feel like just if there was some way to like some sort of not necessarily like a full counter because obviously then there's not much point of having them in there, but if there was some sort of like anti-air turrets or like some sort of detection thing for diggers, so you could kind of like figure out where they were maybe going to attack and stuff like that, then I think it'd be really cool. I think some variety. I do think variety in the enemies is good. I have kind of wanted that for a while. So I would say yes. I don't think I would want both, even if there were options to defend against both. I don't think I would want both. That just seems like a little bit much. Another question from Tyler is: I have over 850 hours into Factorio and never done the campaign. Have you finished the campaign missions? Please all of the spoilers. Um, I've not actually. I have thousands of hours in the game and I've not done the campaign. I've just never done it. Campaigns are just not really a thing for me. Like I basically never ever do campaigns in games uh, unless it makes me do them. I think I can count on like three fingers. I think I can count. I don't even know if I can count three, honestly. I feel like maybe I've only ever done a campaign in one or two games ever. Um, so the only two that off the top of my head, the only two I can think of is Halo Combat Evolved. I played through the entire campaign of that, I think almost twice. And then this may seem like a really random one, Bulletstorm. I played the campaign of that all the way through. I can't think of any other game I've actually played the campaign. In Factorio falls into that as well. I've not played the campaign. I have no interest in playing it. I mean, I guess although now are the campaigns the tutorial things that I'm like making videos for. I don't know. Even so, I hadn't played up until that point. So, um, I just never really had an interest, to be honest. The free play was for me, so I can't provide any spoilers, unfortunately for you. Uh, Chaos asks, "What's your opinion on Mindustry if you've played it? Do you think it implements automation and production gameplay well into a different genre like tower defense?" I have not played Mindustry. I've had it suggested multiple times. I've kind of had an eye on it. I've looked at it before. Um, it seems really interesting. I can't obviously comment much past that because I've never played it. If I'm looking at screenshots of it right now, graphically, I am not like it turns me off already. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I know it's not a bad game. But graphically, like it just kind of I don't really have much of an interest. Graphics for me are fairly important in a game, and Factorio graphics do happen to appeal to me. But based on this, I don't know that I would play it. It just seems I just don't think I would really be captured by it. Again, I don't think it's a bad game. I'm quite confident it's actually a very good game. But personally, I the graphical style is not really for me. Um, Let me see here. Any other questions? Thomas asks, "I haven't actually played much of it, but if you like RTS and Factorio, don't you think you'd enjoy Industry?" Oh, well, okay, there we go. Again, I don't know. I think the gameplay I would really enjoy. I don't know. I don't. The graphical style is like really not for me. I don't I don't know how else to say that. I don't want it to sound like I'm hating on the game because gameplay wise, I think it really would appeal to me. But I am fairly picky with the type of like style of graphics and art that are used in a game, and it just doesn't really appeal to me in that category at least. So um, I think that may be all the questions actually. Um, I'm looking through here. I think that's all the questions. Like I said, they're much less than last time, but I do really enjoy these. I hope you guys enjoy them. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments of this video, and I will answer them in next week's video. And if I did miss one, if I missed any that you asked last time, just let me know and repost it in this one, because there was just a lot of comments, really good comments about some of my opinions last time. So it's just a bit hard sorting through those to find the questions. But I think that's it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for the support. If you did enjoy, a like is much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe to keep up with all the new content. And I believe that'll do it. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.